Dr. Evelyn Carter stood on the deck of the research vessel Atlantis, the salty sea breeze whipping through her hair. She was a marine biologist of renown, her work on deep-sea ecosystems earning her numerous accolades. This expedition, however, was different, funded by a mysterious benefactor. It aimed to explore an uncharted trench off the coast of Bermuda, rumored to hold secrets beyond imagination. Her team was a diverse group of experts. Dr. Marcus Kane, her assistant, was a geologist known for his sharp mind and even sharper skepticism. Dr. Priya Patel, an astrophysicist with a fascination for the unknown, brought a sense of wonder to the team. Captain Jim O'Connor, a seasoned sailor with a heart of gold, commanded the Atlantis with a steady hand. His first mate, Sarah Johnson, was a young but highly skilled navigator, her eyes always scanning the horizon for both beauty and danger. The initial days of the expedition were uneventful, filled with routine measurements and sample collections. But on the fifth day, as Evelyn and Marcus conducted a deep-sea dive, they discovered something unusual. Embedded in the ocean floor was a glass orb, smooth and translucent, emitting a faint, pulsating glow. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. "Marcus, look at this," Evelyn said, her voice filled with awe. "It's incredible." Marcus, ever the skeptic, frowned. "It's probably some kind of deep-sea organism or mineral formation. We should bring it up for further study." Back on these Atlantis, the team gathered in the lab to examine the orb. Priya, intrigued by its unusual properties, suggested running a series of tests. "This thing is giving off energy readings that don't make sense," she said. "It's almost as if it's not from this world." Jim and Sarah kept the ship steady, though Jim couldn't shake a feeling of unease. "I don't like it," he muttered to Sarah. "It feels wrong." As they conducted their experiments, the orb suddenly activated, creating a swirling portal in the middle of the lab. Before anyone could react, a figure emerged, a man dressed in strange, futuristic clothing. He introduced himself as Dr. Elias Voss, a scientist from another universe. Elias explained that the orb was a gateway device, capable of opening portals to different dimensions. His world was on the brink of collapse due to a catastrophic event caused by the misuse of the orb's technology. He had been sent to retrieve the orb and prevent a similar disaster in other universes. Evelyn, fascinated by the possibilities, decided to help Elias. Marcus, however, remained skeptical and wary of Elias's intentions. "We don't know anything about this guy or his world," he argued. "We could be walking into a trap." Despite Marcus's reservations, the team agreed to assist Elias. They prepared to travel through the portal, unsure of what awaited them on the other side. Stepping through the portal, the team found themselves in a world both advanced and devastated. Towering structures of glass and metal stretched towards the sky, but many were crumbling, their once gleaming surfaces now marred by cracks and decay. The air was thick with a sense of urgency and despair. Elias led them to a hidden facility, where they met several key figures. Dr. Lila Chen, a geneticist with a sharp mind and a kind heart, was working on a cure for a deadly virus that had ravaged the population. Commander Rafael Torres, a military leader with a stern demeanor, was trying to maintain order amidst the chaos. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Mira Patel, was a fierce and loyal soldier, her eyes always scanning for threats. They also encountered Kiera, a young girl with a mysterious connection to the orb. She was guarded by Martha, an elderly woman with a wealth of knowledge about the orb's origins. Martha shared ancient texts that spoke of the orb's power and its connection to a long-lost civilization. As they explored this new world, the team learned that the orb's energy was destabilizing both universes. Priya and Elias worked tirelessly to stabilize the orb, while Evelyn and Leela sought a way to reverse the damage. Marcus and Raphael clashed over the best course of action. with Marcus advocating for a return to their own world and Raphael insisting on staying to fight. The team faced numerous challenges, from hostile factions seeking to control the orb's power to the ever-present threat of the virus. Kiera's visions of the orb's power became more frequent and intense, revealing glimpses of both hope and destruction. One day, as they were conducting experiments, a group of armed soldiers stormed the facility. Led by a ruthless warlord named Victor, they sought to seize the orb for their own purposes. In the ensuing battle, Mira was fatally wounded while protecting Kiera. Her death weighed heavily on the team, especially Raphael, who vowed to honor her memory by finding a solution. With the facility compromised, the team was forced to relocate to a hidden underground lab. The loss of Mira had shaken them, but they were more determined than ever to stabilize the orb and prevent further destruction. Priya and Elias made a breakthrough in their research. They discovered that the orb could be stabilized by channeling its energy through a living host, someone with a strong connection to it. Kiera, with her visions and mysterious bond to the orb, was the obvious choice. However, the process was dangerous and could potentially be fatal. Evelyn and Lila worked on a genetic modification to protect Kiera during the procedure. They spent countless hours in the lab, their eyes strained from lack of sleep, but their resolve unshaken. Marcus and Jim, meanwhile, prepared for the worst, gathering supplies and fortifying their defenses. As they worked, tensions rose within the team. Marcus and Raphael continued to clash, their disagreements threatening to tear the group apart. Jim and Sarah struggled with their own fears and doubts, wondering if they would ever see their home again. One night, as the team gathered for a meal, Kiera shared a vision she had experienced. She spoke of a great battle, a final stand against the forces of darkness. In her vision, she saw Martha and Raphael falling in battle, their sacrifices paving the way for victory. The team was shaken by Kiera's words, but they knew they had to press on. They spent the following days preparing for the final attempt to stabilize the orb, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what lay ahead. The day of the procedure arrived, and the team gathered in the lab. Kiera, her small frame trembling with a mix of fear and determination, stood at the center of the room. The orb floated above her, its glow casting an ethereal light on her face. Evelyn and Leela administered the genetic modification, their hands steady despite the gravity of the moment. Priya and Elias monitored the orb's energy levels, their eyes glued to the screens before them. Marcus and Jim stood guard, their weapons at the ready. As the procedure began, the orb's energy surged, its light growing brighter and more intense. Kiera cried out in pain, her body convulsing as the energy coursed through her. The team watched in horror, their hearts pounding with fear and desperation. Suddenly, the facility was attacked by Victor's forces. The team sprang into action, defending the lab with everything they had. Raphael and Martha fought side by side, their movements a blur of determination and courage. But as Kiera had foreseen, they were no match for the overwhelming forces. Martha fell first, her body crumpling to the ground as a bullet struck her chest. Raphael, his eyes filled with grief and rage, fought on, his movements fueled by a desperate need to protect Kiera. But as he turned to face a group of soldiers, a blade found its mark, piercing his heart. With their dying breaths, Martha and Raphael urged the team to succeed. Their sacrifices galvanized the remaining members, their resolve hardening with a mix of grief and determination. Back in the lab, the orb's energy reached a crescendo, its light blinding in its intensity. Kiera, her body racked with pain, channeled the energy with a final, desperate cry. The orb's light exploded outward, a wave of pure energy that washed over the team and the facility. As the light faded, the team found themselves back on the Atlantis, the orb now dormant and stable, They looked at each other, their faces a mix of relief and sorrow. They had succeeded, but the cost had been high. In the aftermath, the team said their goodbyes. Elias, his heart heavy with the loss of his world, but filled with hope for the future, decided to stay in his universe to help rebuild. Evelyn, Marcus, Priya, Jim, and Sarah returned to their own world, forever changed by their journey. Back on Earth, Evelyn published a groundbreaking paper on interdimensional travel, though she omitted the more fantastical details. Marcus, his skepticism softened by their experiences, continued to work with Evelyn on new discoveries. Priya returned to her astrophysics research, inspired by the mysteries of the universe. Jim and Sarah sailed the Atlantis to new adventures, their hearts forever bound by their shared experience. The story ends with a sense of hope and wonder, as the characters, each transformed by their journey, continued to explore the mysteries of the universe. They carried with them the memories of those they had lost. Their sacrifice is a testament to the power of courage, determination, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship.